So I have this idea for an intro that I want to do where I'm singing, right? And instead of singing my favorite things from, what's that film? It's not Mary Poppins. Sound of Music, that's the one. Instead of doing that, I'm singing about my most savoury-est things. So like crisps and peanuts and biscuits and what else is savoury? Muffins? No, they're kind of sweet. Depend. I guess. Yeah. Well, you get the idea. But I'd just be like crisps and peanuts and biscuits and muffins, and then I just go off onto like a whole thing about all these different savory foods. I think that's a good idea, but I don't have the time or resources right now, so I'm just going to describe it to you instead, and I'll maybe do it at some point in time. Anyway, we're in the battle. I get tricked a flame orb with my Diggersby, which is horrible, and then I get tricked a choice scarf, the choice band that... Right, let's start again. Meowstic is a dick, okay? So, it took away my choice band on Diggersby and gave me a flame orb. It then proceeded to take away my choice scarf on Gengar and give it the choice band that it took from my Diggersby. And now I'm in a bad situation because two of my Pokemon are nerfed. Diggersby no longer can function in reality, and Gengar is banded instead of scarfed. So, not a good start, but I do kill the Meowstic with a Shadow Ball. Then he opts to go into Absol, which is the Mega, and he's going to be able to taunt me so I can't roar him away. I wouldn't be able to roar him away anyway, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, because he has Magic Bounce, so I guess that was mainly just to stop me setting up spikes. But I basically at this point, I was just like, fuck it, he's at +2, Skarmory can take the hits. So I'm going to be able to do some good damage with the Steel Wing, and thankfully we're at a point where he definitely doesn't want to stay in because he can't kill me with another Night Slash unless he gets a crit, and I can definitely take him out with the Steel Wing. So he's going to switch to his Mecha Godzilla, which is his Aggron, which at initial viewing of the team I would think like this is his Mega, but it turns out to be his Absol instead. And Aggron's still good for some Stealth Rocks, and that's exactly what it's going to do. My taunt does wear off, so I'm able to get up the spikes, get their spikes on the field, and I should be able to go for another layer here as long as nothing goes wrong, because it doesn't look like his Aggron can actually do much to Skarmory. Aggron generally can't, so it's always a good situation. I actually decided to roar instead, predicting a switch not to Absol but to something like the Noivern, which can directly threaten me with something like a Flamethrower, and ends up going back into Absol anyway, which I'm perfectly fine with because I can take a hit and finish it off with a Night Slash, with a Steel Wing. But apparently Steel Wing is it's not 100% accuracy. I can't remember what it is. Maybe it's 95, 90. It's one of those bullshit ones where when it misses, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, fine. I'm fine with that, sure, because that would always be the case, and yeah, it's not. So roosting up, and he's going to switch. He just doesn't want to stay in. I'm still just, Jesus Christ, Skarmory, you want to just stop hogging the entire limelight here? Like, it's all you do is roost and Steel Wing. Apparently, there's no other use for you. But if you're doing it well, I say just continue. So I'm going to go to Diggersby because he's useless waste of space at this point. He has a Flame Orb. What more do you want from him? Like, seriously, he is fucked. So I get the burn and a quick attack just for just a little tiny bit of extra damage before Noivern's Focus Blast is inevitably going to just kick me right off the battlefield. That's no point. My Diggersby was lost from the start. Lasai, indeed. So I'm going to get to Togekiss, though, which is fantastic against Noivern. And I have the ability here to go for a Dazzling Gleam, which is what I do. End up going to Crobat, which, is able to defog, which is great. Get away those Stealth Rocks. But on my side as well, but the thing is, like, he's getting rid of the spikes that I've set up, but he's also getting rid of the Stealth Rock, and I think it's actually better for me that he defogs, because I have things like Togekiss, which are taking horrible amounts of damage from Stealth Rock, which I rather wouldn't, and it's just better for me. He doesn't actually do that initially. He goes for the Whirlwind to get rid of me, and that works out pretty nicely because I roost on that turn, meaning that when I come back in, I won't have too low of an HP as I would have had if I'd been at lower. Obviously, it's maths. God, if you have more HP, you would have... God, stupid assertions here. Anyway, Gengar comes in, and I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball as he switches to Jolteon, and I pseudo fodder Gengar, although I wasn't really thinking because Jolteon have been carrying Shadow Ball for some time, and I should have realized that. I should have gone into something to resist it and take the hit, but I'm being dumb, and that's what happens. Shadow Ball is taken, and Gengar dies. It wasn't Scarfed anyway, so it was kind of neutered at that point. It wasn't like I was losing a super valuable member of my team. Had I obviously still had the Scarf, I wouldn't have had to worry about that because I just would have outsped on the next turn and killed him anyway. But more while coming in Mega Evolve and getting paralyzed by a Thunder Wave Jolteon, which makes me fucking just, oh god damn it, that's horrible. Who does that? Who even does that? And apparently this guy, because he not only does that but Volt Switches, and I literally don't get to touch the Jolteon at all. I could have gone for the Sucker Punch there, but I thought, you know what, try and get up a sub here if he switches, and that would be nice. And he ends up leaving me with enough HP to where I can do that, and I'm at a point where I'm actually faster than Aggron. Hello? No, that was probably because he went for like a low priority move, like, does he have Raw? Does that thing get access to Raw? Maybe it does, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I managed to get off an Iron Head and flinch him on the first one, and then get paralyzed one time, I think, and then Iron Head. God, this is a horrible narration. Oh, look, so I go for the Iron Head, and then he goes for the Stone Edge, and then I go for the getting paralyzed, and he goes for the Defog. See, this is what we want to get away from. I've been doing this for 5 years. Right, let's take a break. Right. Take a deep breath. Okay, we're back. So, I get paralyzed again, trying to go for the Sucker Punch on the Crobat, because if I get off the damage, then I can much easier take this guy down with one of my remaining Pokemon to revenge it with. The name of that Pokemon is, of course, Cloyster, and Cloyster is actually perfect here, because if I go for the Shell Smash, then I can be set up to sweep and finish off his team. However, knowing that he has the Whirlwind, it probably would be an unwise decision to do that, and therefore, instead of trying to set up here, I'm going to go instead for the Icicle Spear, predicting him to Whirlwind, predicting my Shell Smash, and it works out beautifully because I just finish off the Crobat and it is out of my way. However, I'm not in a potential position to sweep because he obviously now has the Jolteon, which outspeeds me, and so he felt, I guess, the sacrificial offering of Crobat was necessary to stop me from rampaging through the rest of his team, which is exactly what happens. I now have to fodder something because Jolteon is a big threat and it is fast and it is dangerous. The good thing, however, is it is Life Orbed, which means as long as it takes one more hit, or I mean, as long as it hits something else one more time, it's going to go down, which should be perfect. Now he goes into Absol, and obviously because he got rid of the spikes before, this thing can live a switch in, meaning that he is able to taunt my Togekiss and somewhat shut it down because it means I can't roost, but in all honesty, he doesn't really have a huge amount that he can threaten me with because his last Pokemon is an Absol, no, it was Absol, and now Noivern, and then finally Jolteon, so I can easily live anything that this Noivern throws at me. I take the hit beautifully because of that natural high special defense, and then Jolteon is his last, which is of course going to die to the Life Orb, whether it likes it or not. So to preserve and save Togekiss, because it has been so valued and valiant a member, I am going to go into my Cloyster to die to the Volt Switch, but taking the hit for the team, as Cloyster so often does. He's such a valued and valuable member, and is able in this situation to come out on top, having taken the hit there to finish off the Jolteon because of the Life Orb. So that's it. That's the battle. That was a narration. If you enjoyed it, you can click like. If you didn't, well, it's your fault. I blame you. Until next time,